So you're thinking about moving to Franklin, Tennessee, but you're really not sure how far it is from everything, where everything's at, how close is it to Nashville, like things to do, whatever the reason you're looking at Franklin. We're going to show you that today in an all around map tour, kind of giving you the grand tour of Franklin, Tennessee. And you're not going to want to miss the end because if you have kids, you have things you love to do with your kids, we have a special treat for you. Let's get started. If this is your first time to the channel and you're wanting to know everything there is to know about Franklin, Tennessee, or Nashville, Tennessee, or anywhere around Nashville, feel free to click the subscribe button, click the bell for notification, and then you'll get notified every single time that we have a new video upload. I'm Michael, and Joshua, Caleb, James, David, our team. We get calls from people like you from all over the country looking to make their move to Nashville. If that's you and you're moving in one day, 1 month, or 1 year, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'll gladly help you make your move to the Nashville area. All right, so we're going to jump right into the map and kind of give you the layout of everything around Franklin. So let's do this right here, and we'll jump right onto this. So hopefully you can see my screen, and you can see this is the Franklin, directly around the Franklin area. Obviously, Franklin, I mean, really, if you want to look at it, this is Franklin and more of the city part of it. But Franklin actually, let's just give you an idea. Arrington is called Arrington, but really Franklin's coming long about here. Here's Leapers Fork. Actually does have somewhat of a Franklin address as well. So you'll see all of this up here close to Nashville, not quite up there. This is about where you could say Metro Franklin, if you want to call it Metro Franklin. This is where Metro Franklin would be, okay? So it kind of gives you an idea that Franklin's not just made up of the downtown city area part of town, but there's a lot of, outskirts of Franklin as well. So there you go on that. So let's talk about like how far Franklin is from certain things. Here's where B&A, the airport, Franklin Airport is. Not Franklin Airport, the Nashville Airport. And Franklin is right around 30 minutes, give or take. And it also depends on traffic. I've gotten there quicker, and it's taken me a lot longer. It really depends on what time of day you're going and if you're in the middle of all the nonsense of traffic coming in and out of the Nashville area. But that's going from downtown, straight from downtown Franklin all the way to B&A. I would say the average right around the Franklin area is probably 25 to 30 minutes for sure. And let's talk about this. This is going downtown. So when you're looking at downtown Nashville, let's kind of zoom in a little bit here on Broadway. I just picked a spot down on Broadway, the Broadway Brew House in downtown, which is right on Broadway. This is Broadway right through here. So if you're taking a look at that, going from there to downtown Franklin takes you right about 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. By the time you get a place to park down there, maybe a little bit longer, but roughly pretty easy drive, straight up 65, and depending on traffic, and you can see it's getting later in the day, so there's a good bit of traffic downtown right now. So there's an idea of, going down to Broadway if you're going to go to the hockey game that's down there. The Country Music Hall of Fame is down there. All the singers that have bars and just the nightlife downtown. There's a place called Losers, which is a popular spot for a lot of the stars and singers to go hang out. That's also down there, right off of Broadway as well. So plenty to do downtown, lots of touristy kind of things. If you want to see tours, take a tour bus. There's all kinds of tour buses. There's double-decker tour buses. There's also pedaling beer carts. There, just about anything you want to do downtown is available. You are definitely available to do that downtown. So that's what's going on in Broadway. Let's see. We'll take a hunt over towards here's Opryland. So this is where the Grand Ole Opry is. This is where Opryland Resort, a gigantic hotel. They have an indoor water park called Sound Waves. Here, let me. I'll just open this up and we'll hit Sound Waves. Should have had this pulled up. Sound Waves, Opryland. Let's take a look at that. Here's some pictures of that. You can see there's an outdoor water park. There's also an indoor water park if you want to take a look. That's pretty cool. They have like a surfing kind of thing. They have indoor pools. They have like a lazy river, that kind of stuff as well. So that's the indoor park. There's also an outdoor park. This is all part of the Opryland Hotel, in addition to having all the restaurants and everything else that's at the Opryland Hotel as well. So we got that. Let's see. Let's go back. We were here, Opryland. Other things that are over by Opryland, there is a Opry Mills, which is the mall. There's lots of shops there, great restaurants that are there as well. It's really a destination place if there's things you want to do, from shopping to eating to just entertainment. And then there's also the Grand Ole Opry. They do have tours throughout the day, and then I think it's Tuesday through Saturday. They have live shows every night, and there's different artists, from famous artists to up and coming artists, all kinds of people that are at the Grand Ole Opry nightly. You can check out the Grand Ole Opry. We'll put a link in the description below so you can check that out. And if you want to buy tickets or see any of the shows that are coming up, you can check that out as well. So let's keep moving through how far it is from Franklin to something. If you want to go to the lake, you want to have like the lake life kind of feel, there is a place called Nashville Shores. There's also lots of spots. Let me kind of highlight this. Oh, wow. That's in the way. There we go. Get it out of the way. You can see it takes about 40 minutes to get to Nashville Shores, but all along I just moved it again. There we go. All along the shoreline here, throughout different spots, there are, and you can look these up around the lake. This is Percy Priest Lake, and you can look it up. There are several beach spots around here. Anderson Beach, I think, is there. There's several. And then this is the closer of the two lakes. Let me clear this out and then show you Old Hickory Lake, which is right. We'll keep that going. This is Old Hickory Lake, and this lake also has lots of beach areas as well. So there's definitely lake life around Nashville if you're interested in looking at water parks and different things to do, jet skis, lakes, fishing, that kind of thing. Definitely not too far away from Franklin area. Let's go on to our next spot. Some people want to know how far we are from Alabama. Roughly from Alabama, it's about an hour. Franklin is about an hour away. But if you want to go to Huntsville, that's probably one of the closest cities, bigger cities in Alabama. Huntsville is about an hour and 45 minutes. And that's where the Space Center is, actually. If you want to go check that out, take your kids there. They have a lot of kids activities to do there at the Huntsville Space Center. Something you can check out, not too far away. And then this is one of my favorite things. This isn't I told you we are going to have something at the end. You got to stick around for that. But this is one of my favorite parts of being near Franklin, Tennessee. That is the Natchez Trace. And then where you get on at Natchez Trace is literally right. You're just going straight out one highway, Highway 96, and then you're jumping on the Natchez Trace. Let me explain the Natchez Trace for a second. Natchez Trace is a 444-mile road, scenic highway, scenic tour that goes from Nashville, Tennessee to Natchez, Mississippi, which is below Tupelo, Mississippi. 444 miles. Let's show you some of the pictures here. This is amazing. This is what the drive looks like pretty much in the fall, anytime you're along Natchez Trace. So you can look, here's another one. In Franklin, there's a really cool bridge. This is the Natchez Trace Franklin Bridge. You can see in the summertime, it's nice and green. The cool part about the Natchez Trace, or one of the coolest parts about the Natchez Trace, is there's no commercial anything, no signs. There's not any billboards advertising anything like that. It's just nature. There are a few parks along the way, so you'll see signs that are, for the parks. There's part of the Natchez Trace has it's a national park. So along this trail, along this trace, this is it's been around for a long, long time. So old that armies, Civil War armies, traveled it. Slaves traveled this way. Merchants used to travel this way. There's been a lot of things that have happened on the Natchez Trace for helping with travel. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to kind of show you the trail. It's the Natchez Trace, and kind of walk through it with you. So it starts right here. It's right about here in Nashville, Tennessee. And then it winds down through Franklin, through Leapers Fork, and I'll show you some of the cities it hits, but comes down through here, all the way down. I mean, you can kind of see it works the ridge line through the foothills of Tennessee, all the way down here, crosses the Alabama line, goes past Muscle Shoals, and then it jumps over into Mississippi. And there, I can't draw real straight, but goes just north of Tupelo, Mississippi, and then down and down here that's where Natchez, Mississippi is right there. So this is a 444-mile trail or road. It's a scenic highway, and there's not any gas stations on the scenic highway, but there are exits all along the Natchez Trace to get off in certain cities, and you can get gas or anything you might need there. It's a beautiful drive, lots of things to hike, and lots of waterfalls, and you can cycle if you're into cycling and things like that. So let's take a look at some of the cities that it goes through. We'll start with Natchez, Mississippi, and then it goes through Raymond and Clinton and Jackson. In Jackson, Mississippi, there's a gigantic festival. It's a Civil War festival. They have a Civil War reenactment, and they do that every year. It's definitely if you're a history buff, if you're really into the Civil War history, Jackson, Mississippi is definitely a place you're going to want to stop. Keeps going up through Ridgeland, French Camp, Mississippi, French Camp, Mississippi, Tupelo. I don't even know how to say that word. Tishomingo County, Mississippi, Tuscumbia, Alabama, Sheffield, Alabama, Muscle Shoals, Florence, Collinwood, Tennessee, Hohenwald, Tennessee, Leapers Fork. Leapers Fork is right outside of Franklin, Tennessee, and it lands in Nashville, Tennessee. So definitely a lot of places to stop, things to explore. You could make a week trip out of just traveling to the different cities along the Natchez Trace. Something that's really cool for sure if you're a hiker, if you like the outdoors. This is a beautiful, beautiful area. Our family goes to the Natchez Trace a lot throughout the year. One more thing I want to talk about the Natchez Trace, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. There are waterfalls all along the Natchez Trace that you're going to want to check out. Again, if you love waterfalls, love scenic hikes, things like that, this is definitely something you're not going to want to miss out on. You can check all this out on a link to Natchez Trace. Yeah, I'll put that link in the description as well, and that way you can check out all things Natchez Trace. So what we want to do now is we want to jump into the downtown area of Franklin a little bit and give you the ins and outs there. So if you're looking at downtown, the downtown Main Street area is right here. This is Main Street, running right through here. Okay. So if you're looking at being downtown, this is where all the shops are. They're like boutique shops, restaurants, excellent restaurants for downtown. And we'll highlight a couple of those here in just a second. Wanted to point out, this is called Let's see if I can move that around over here. Okay. This right here is called the Factory. And the Factory is an old furniture factory that got revitalized and it was purchased and then revitalized and turned into shops and restaurants, coffee shops, and there's a couple of venues there, auditorium venue, a theater venue. So they put on plays and musicals a lot. There's also a place called the Mockingbird, and the Mockingbird is a venue, seats about 115, and it's a beautiful theater that you can go. They'll do sometimes they'll do album parties, album release parties, different things for musicians. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on at the Mockingbird as well. So that's the Factory. Let's bolt out of that for a second, and then let's zoom in a little bit here on the downtown area so we can kind of see. It's a place called Onyx and Alabaster. It's a boutique type shop. They have furniture and unique knickknacks. They also have good coffee at that place. So they have coffee. There's a Red Pony, which is a restaurant. Interesting. The Red Pony actually burned a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, and now it's been rebuilt and looks pretty cool. I'm ready to go check that out. And let's see. Oh, definitely you want to hit the Biscuit Love. Biscuit Love is incredible Southern style biscuits. Be prepared though. They come with a lot of grease, come with a lot of heart attack. Definitely. Um, Here's a good old restaurant that's very popular here in Franklin. It's called Puckett's. Puckett's, they have different locations. There's one downtown here in Franklin. There's also one in Columbia. There's also one in Leapers Fork as well. So you may want to check out Puckett's for sure if you're coming to the area. There's a juice bar if you like juicing. I end up getting a lot of juice bar there. There's a place, I'll clear these out, and there's a place right over here too that you want to check out. It's it's right here on this corner right here. It's called Culicino. It's an Italian restaurant. Incredible Italian. It's high-end Italian, but it's incredible Italian food. You want to check that out. That's definitely a good restaurant. Let me think of some other. I could probably highlight 100 restaurants. I love to eat. Some other things that you want to check out. Let's see. All along, you can't really, unless I zoom in. Let me see if I can. I'll zoom in a little more. See if we can see. Oh, they don't really post the stores. I'll show you an example. All these are stores. These are all boutique shops. Everything from furniture to knickknacks, Tennessee items, or items about Franklin, or some of them are the popular stores that you would know. All kinds of national chain stores are down here too. But definitely a lot of shopping, really interesting Main Street. It looks more like a Main Street USA kind of thing. There's a theater right here. They still put on shows, comedies, musicals, things like that at the Franklin Theater. And let's see. Another thing you can check out, and it's right off the square, right off the, let me get that moved out of the way. Right off the square here. This is a place where you can go to the Chamber of Commerce for Franklin, and then you can buy tickets for a Civil War tour. They have all kinds of tours about things that have happened, and there was a Civil War battle here in Franklin, Tennessee, and there's a lot of information on that. There's tours you can take for that. They have a tour of old homes, and you can check those homes out as well. Definitely a lot to do in the Franklin area. All right, let's see. What else can we get into here? Here you go. Whatever your denomination or flavor, if you want to call it a flavor, of church, there are a lot of churches across the Franklin area that you can check out. There's more than this, but this is kind of what's highlighted right here on the page when I put in churches. But if you're looking for a church, one of the things that when we were moving here, we wanted to know what's a good church. So we found a church that we wanted to go to. And there are plenty of churches, every denomination you can think of, several Catholic churches, several other denominations, Baptist, Methodist, Church of Christ, just about everything you can think of. They have pretty much on every corner. You can see they're everywhere. So now, one thing that you really this is my highlight. I told you that I wanted to give you the highlight. I have 12 kids. So for the past 30 years, I've been looking for places all the time for 30 years, things for my kids to do. And Franklin is no exception. They have plenty of things for your kids to do. So here's the highlight, and there's a lot of other places in addition to this, but they have Soar. Soar is a gigantic adventure tower where you climb and do rock climbing, you do zip lining, you walk across bridges and all kinds of things like that. They have the typical national chain Chuck E. Cheese. They have a big Franklin Recreation Complex, which is everything from fields to volleyball to tennis to just about any recreation item you can think of. They have an urban air trampoline park. So, there's two. There's a Defy trampoline park as well. And then there's urban air. And then there's the Franklin Entertainment Center, which is everything from bowling to games and video games and all kinds of stuff there. There's a place called King's. King's is a bowling alley and a restaurant. It's right near the Galleria Mall, which is in Cool Springs. There's lots of stuff to do. It's attached to the mall. If you have little girls and they love American Girl dolls, King's Bowl is directly across the street from American Girl. So you can check out the American Girl shop too, because that's definitely a place little girls love to go. I've spent a lot of money at an American Girl store. Pinkerton Park, which is a park, lots of big, gigantic playground, walking trails, and rivers right close by there. Definitely a neat place to go. And there's so many more places that you could take your kids to. It's not very far. This is just what I've shown you in Franklin. If you zoom out and you were to go to Nolensville or go to Murfreesboro, I mean, there's all kinds of entertainment activities for kids all around Nashville. And on the southern part of Nashville, this is just a very small percentage. Feel free to send us a note, and we'll be glad to give you any information you want about any of these places. Most likely, my kids have been there and can give you a rating on how good it is. They'll be glad to share their knowledge, I'm sure. Say they love Defy or they love this or love that. So as you can see, there's a lot of kid things to do all over the Franklin area. And whether you're talking about, being up here around Defy and urban air, which is more trampoline parks, or skydiving, not skydiving, but soar and doing the stuff, or just going to a park and having lots of things to do at the parks. There's so much to do around Franklin. That's one of my favorite parts of Franklin, is just the ability to pretty much do anything you want to do with your kids. So what I want to do is just give you the highlight view of Franklin. And that's what this has all been about. How far is it to different places? But not only that, give you some pretty good detail on things you can do with your kids, things you can do if you're looking for a church, looking for different opportunities. Our team is here to help you any way we can, and we'll be glad to do that. You can give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'll be glad to help you any way we can making your move to Nashville. We'll see you next video.